White supremacist Matthew Grutter's visa canceled after neo-Nazi rally. Comments are turned off.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news. One of Sydney's most notorious neo-Nazis is being kicked out of the country tonight.
Matthew Grutter, a senior member of the group that staged a shocking anti-Jewish rally outside Parliament House, has been told to leave immediately. Let's go straight to political editor Mark Riley. Mark, the government is sending a strong message.
Yeah, pretty sharp one, Ange. If anyone here on a visa is spouting racism and telling Australian citizens they're not welcome in their own country, then they, like Matthew Grutter, can get out themselves. Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke says neo-Nazis won't be allowed to import hatred. And if they do, they will be exported back to where they came from. White supremacists dressed in black, their message even darker, demanding Jews and non-white immigrants be deported. But tonight, it's one of the neo-Nazis' leaders being thrown out. South African Matthew Grutter, his work visa cancelled.
Why has he got a Hebrew tattoo on his arm?
If someone's intention is to tell Australian citizens that somehow they don't belong, that somehow they're not welcome, well, I'm sorry, mate, he's the one who can leave the country.
A civil engineer, he's been here for 3 years, spotted at the New South Wales protest wearing a wristband inscribed with blood and honour, the slogan of the Hitler Youth.
This character has specialised in hatred. He can leave.
And if he doesn't, he'll be put into detention and deported. His wife is Australian, their child born here, but he is a South African citizen.
The fact that we have neo-Nazis on visas in our country is a problem in the first place.
Dude, okay, so you're going to deport him back to South Africa. He's got a wife and a kid, and South Africa has a refugee crisis for white people because they get murdered. They should all come to America, man. They should all apply for refuge in America. All the based white people are going to eventually have to do that. You're going to have to come to America because it's the only place that won't persecute you for standing next to a sign that says abolish the Jewish lobby.
They've marched at midnight, attacked Melbourne's Camp Sovereignty, booed the welcome to country on Anzac Day. That man, Jacob Herschend, one of 3 neo-Nazis pleading not guilty today to offensive conduct. And now the neo-Nazis are trying to start their own political party and stand for election across Australia so they can spout their racist message under parliamentary privilege.
The idea that they would sit in Parliament is, I think, abhorrent to what this country is all about.
Their leaders, men like Thomas Sewell, also facing court, charged with assault, violent disorder and affray.
Hail Australia.
Mark Riley.
Affray. I love how that's a charge in Australia. He's charged with affray.
Let's go live now to Taylor Aiken at Sydney Airport. Taylor, when will Matthew Grutter be kicked out of the country?
Well, Mark, while his visa has been formally cancelled, it will take some time for Matthew Grutter to leave Australia. He is likely to be taken into custody by Border Force officials. He will then be transferred to immigration detention, likely at the Villawood Detention Centre, where the paperwork will be finalised. He will then be taken to the airport and sent back to South Africa. And while this is
disgusting way to treat a father with a wife and a young child, man, absolutely disgusting.
a ministerial decision, that means that Mr.
Yeah, and the reporters are all like giddy about it. They're all like, tee hee hee, shouldn't have been a Nazi, mate. Shouldn't have been publicly outed as a racist.
Grutter has very few avenues of appeal. Mark?
Taylor, thank you.
Joel Davis, full interview with 9 News about the deportation of National Socialist Network activist Matthew Grutter.
Joel, give us an update. Your colleague, Matt, where is he? What has he doing?
Matt's at a detention centre. Border Force broke into his house 4 o'clock in the morning and dragged him out in front of his 1-month-old baby and wife. And, you know, they can't deport criminals. Just yesterday, a Afghan migrant who a 15-year-old girl avoided deportation, but Matt apparently needs to be deported instantly. The decision was made yesterday. They ripped him out of his house last night. He didn't have a chance to even book flights or anything. It just shows how
that contrast is insane. Afghan It's a 15-year-old girl and they won't deport him. The white guy is from South Africa. And this is what I said this yesterday, because this is what they do. The Afghan, he'll be like, oh, you can't send me back to Afghanistan. I'll get killed. It's like, you're the reason people get killed in Afghanistan. You're the guys who do the killing. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be here. He should make the same argument for South Africa. Not that it would work. I know it wouldn't work. I'm just saying the argument holds because South Africa is a very dangerous place for white people. That's why the United States is accepting those refugees. I don't understand how any person can watch this and be like, oh, so we don't deport pedophile rapists. We don't deport guys who rape minors, but we deport guys who hold up signs we don't like. How can any normal person see this contrast and not immediately see who's on the right side of this whole issue?
He would have, once Tony Bird issued the order, he would have just gone willingly.
Well, he was intending on fighting it in the courts, but ultimately, if that was unsuccessful, of course he would go.
Okay, so to explain that, he was intending on fighting it in the courts, but was it a function of the fact that it was a ministerial intervention?
Yeah, well, I'm not too sure about how successful it could or could not be in courts. I'm not a lawyer. He was exploring his options. Obviously, it just all happened yesterday. But that's besides the point. The point is that Matthew was a man of sound character. His supposed crime wasn't a crime. He stood on the side of the road at a peaceful, lawful political demonstration where we advocated for the free speech of Australia. So he's essentially a free speech activist who's being deported for standing in opposition to Jewish lobbies' influence over our government and their attacks on free speech.
Joel, what do you say about the fact the authorities targeted him, found him, targeted and kicked him out? It was quite a focused operation.
It shows that the government could deport all the criminals in this country very easily. And the reason why it hasn't happened is due to their negligence and their lack of concern for Australians who are victimised by immigrants who rape and kill Australians on a frequent basis and avoid the same fate.
Are you worried now the government is really targeting on white Australia group and I really want to pick the pieces?
I expected them to persecute us because we're a threat to the establishment, we're a threat to the system. We stand for everything that they're against, and we're against everything that they stand for. And the Australian people are now seeing that this facade of liberal democracy that we supposedly live in is a facade. That the people that are in power have total contempt for peaceful, lawful political activity.
What kind of person is Matthew Bruckner?
Matthew is an exceptional man. He's a good friend of mine.
Dude, I'm starting to feel like, because this is the same guy who we watched him interview Joel Davis really recently about the march. I really am feeling like this guy is he's like on our side. The fact that he's given Joel so much time to say his piece and everything, is that crazy? Tristan, you would know. Is it just me, or is this reporter kind of like he's trying to help get the message out there? I know in the other interview he was calling Joel an anti-Semite and that, but it didn't feel it particularly histrionic or whatever.
He contributes to society. He's a very intelligent man. He's a successful man, a successful engineer. And all he wanted to do was to stand up for Australians and try and prevent what happened to his country, South Africa, that comes from happening here to us.
The real psyop is that there's no psyop, but everyone thinks everything's a psyop.
He loves his people. He loves our race. South Africa, like Australia, is a child of the British Empire. And it is being slowly disassembled. First Rhodesia, then South Africa, and now they're trying to take Australia away from us as well. And he doesn't want the legacy of our ancestors and what they achieved, our once great empire, to be totally ripped away from us. So he chose to come here and help us fight and preserve Australia.
I mentioned it before that the government and authorities seem to be targeting, attacking you each way they can. Do you have any upcoming events where you defy them?
We will continue on in total defiance. We will continue to do political activism. We will continue to hold seminars, conferences, and build our political party. And the government, every curveball they throw at us only increases our sympathy in the population, because people can see that we're being treated unfairly, and it makes them more open to hearing our message.
Joel Davis knocking it out of the park as usual. He really nailed it with the fact that Afghan didn't get deported. If I didn't know better and I was like a shit lib, I would think he's making that up. That's the kind of thing that really red pills shit libs, because they're like, oh, there's no way that's true. That's too much. And then you look it up and you're like, oh, that's real. Oh, that's kind of weird.